Okay, so I'm Dr. Emma Onyenuche, your host today. Today we will be discussing an illness that is common, it's also a threat, and especially in communities underdeveloped or poorly developed areas where water and hygiene is poor, and that is cholera. Cholera is caused by a bacteria known as Vibrio cholerae. It's a bacteria that rapidly multiplies. So it can also be considered a public health, a disease of public health concern. You will notice that during early rainy season, cholera, among other diseases, resurfaces. That is because it's also a disease of contamination. When water is contaminated or food due to poor hygiene, cholera can be one of those illnesses that will emerge. So it's important that we have some knowledge about cholera and also be able to know what to do when it is suspected. So we have known the organism that causes it is bacteria. We have known how one can get cholera, which is by contamination. It's an orophycal disease, so people stool or contaminated water, food, when people consume them, they can pick up cholera. Cholera, usually you see epidemics of cholera now and then, so it's something that needs serious attention. So once one gets cholera, how do we know? The symptoms or presentations of cholera includes vomiting. There will be rapid successive vomiting. There will be passage of watery stool, frequent passage of watery stool. Characteristically, it looks like rice water. We call it rice water stool. When you look at, you know how when they wash rice, you see the way the rice water looks with all those particles. So that's the clinical picture you will see when you look at the stool. It's called rice water stool. So vomiting, passage of rice water stool, sometimes abdominal pain. People say, I feel discomfort in abdomen. And of course, there will be weakness because of that. So when people present with the symptoms we explained, vomiting, passage of frequent passage of stool, weakness, abdominal discomfort, one of the things that comes to mind is it possible that the person has cholera? So how do we now know? Like I said, even clinically, the frequency of the stooling and vomiting, the way the stool looks is very watery, like a rice water stool. And then what we do is immediately the person is usually admitted because we need to rehydrate. If you don't do anything, someone with cholera can die within hours because cholera, the organism multiplies so fast. So the stool is collected for assessment, for laboratory investigation, and immediately the patient is rehydration is key. The most important thing in managing cholera patients to make them stay alive is for them to have fluid replacement. It's not to give them antibiotics and give everything. Replace fluid. What kills them quickest is not the cholera germ, but it's the toxins released by that cholera that causes them to continue to vomit, stool. So the dehydration is what will kill them. So if someone has cholera, what is the first thing? By all means, let the person have fluid replacement. The person can drink, the person should be able to drink. Commonly, we have the ORS, that, you know, in abbreviation, that some people call it drip water. We use a language that the streets know. So if they have it to drink, even something as coconut water, they drink salt sugar solution that is made with clean water. But these days there are sachets of ORS, so you just put in water. But if the people are vomiting profusely and they can't drink, they should receive fluid replacement through the vein, intravenous fluid. So rehydration is key when they arrive to the hospital. So when they are rehydrated, the second thing will now be to give in cases that are moderate or severe, antibiotics. It's important. In fact, in all cases of cholera, because of the rate it multiplies, we like to give antibiotics because it's found to be a bacterial infection. So antibiotics, which that the cholera is sensitive to, cholera causing organism, is given for that patient to be okay. So attention, what to do should already be known before cholera comes. You don't wait for cholera to come, you start thinking of what to do. So that rehydration, that giving antibiotics and all that is needed to be able to, if the person is collapsed and all that, the person is also resuscitated accordingly. So once that is done, you can be sure with continual monitoring that the person is going to be okay. So what do we do to prevent cholera? That is also important. Of course, we say it's a disease of hygiene. If there is poor hygiene, cholera is going to spread. So people should ensure that they have drinking water from a source that ensures that the water is purified. So it's not the type that people just drink from any source, because cholera multiplies in water and food, like we say. So good hygiene, hand wash is important. Channeling the sewage properly is important. But making sure that food is well preserved is important. So those are basic things that we can do to be able to take care of cholera prevention. And of course, government awareness needs to be created. Hospitals need to be well equipped to be able to manage outbreak of cholera. And then water sources should also be looked into. And then if there is cholera outbreak, it's always good to get to where a spread is spreading from. Most times when it is gotten and taken care of, and then the ones in the community managed, you will realize that that episode of cholera will be terminated. And so it's treatable. It can be treated, and then the persons involved will be okay. So it all involves everyone being aware, doing basic hygiene. You can be surprised that it is in diseases like cholera that the saying prevention is better than cure aptly applies. So if hand wash, making sure food or fruits, for instance, are washed before eating them, making sure that people drink from reliable source of water that is purified, those are things you can do to cut them off. And of course, if someone is sick with that vomiting and stooling, instead of trying things that are not confirmed, it's best that the person is brought to hospital as quick as possible, so that fluid replacement can happen, antibiotic can be given, and then samples are also taken for stool samples to be able to confirm if it's indeed cholera. And of course, from the hospital level, once you get a suspected case or confirmed case of cholera, it's always good to escalate it. Like I said, it's a disease of public health importance. So it's good to escalate to know that, it helps to preserve the life of others when it is known that cholera is in this locality. It helps those efforts to be put in place. Somebody also asks, does cholera have a vaccine? Yes, there is cholera vaccine. Oral vaccine also is used for that cholera. So it's also available, given in areas. Who are the people who are most at risk? People of low immune system, pregnant women, older people in the older age group, they can also be affected. So those are things that we need to look into when we are looking at cholera holistically. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope you have learned one or two today. For more information, look at our social media handles and the contact that is there. You can also reach me at Waterfalls Hospital, Okota, and the Kotun. Thank you for joining us.